Colourful, sprawling, Mexico City played host to the WEC whirlwind at the halfway point of the season. Mexico has worked hard to attract major FIA events including Formula One, but now it was the turn of sports car racing's finest to bring the excitement of endurance racing to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez.
I think WEC have done a really good job coming here this year. It was a nice addition to the championship, no question about it. There's probably some other parts of the calendar which might be under pressure in the future because they can see how much these new venues want us to come here. It's got history and it's great to be back here with WEC and also with Priaulx.
The 2.6-mile circuit is technical and fast with little room for error, but it also has the extra challenge of high altitude.
We come here to Mexico, it's high altitude, 2,200 meters above sea level. That obviously affects the car as much as it does people. There is a certain amount of downforce you lose, the drag is reduced, the air has less cooling effects on all of the parts of the car that need cooling, so brakes, turbos, engine, so all the radiators in the car aren't as efficient as they normally are.
GT car now is an aero car, so it affects us in exactly the same way. The car's going to be worked very hard here. It's a new track. We've all got to learn that as well, and we're all going to be learning in public. You can't come here and test. So literally when the TV's on, 6-hour race starts, we're also testing.
The cars are now on a trip around the world and won't be going back to the factory. So if you do have a big accident, the chances of them being able to do a repair while on the road is going to be quite difficult. Once you're out on the track, it sort of goes to the side and you just want to get your best result you can for the team and obviously for yourself.
Being a new addition to the calendar, the drivers were excited to meet fans and embrace the unique Mexican culture.
Very hopeful of a big crowd. There's an incredible grandstand arena through the last sector, which you feel quite closed in, and I mean it has a real street track feel to it.
The spectators around, the big arenas, hopefully they're fully packed for the race, and we all know the Mexican people are crazy about motor racing, so it should be great fun.
It's great, the WEC, every year or so we go to a new venue, and it's great to be here in Mexico City. I know that Ricardo Gonzalez and the guys at WEC have worked extremely hard on ensuring that this event comes here.
The Gonzalez brothers are big names in Mexican motorsport, and Ricardo, as promoter of the event, was the driving force behind getting a WEC round to come here. With Roberto also racing, the pair were looking forward to lining up against the elite field in front of their home fans.
My first time as a promoter, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I only had 3 months to prepare all of this. But now I'm very happy, starting to relax. And I think this is like my own prize after all the hard work of 3 months and having this result. Very happy.
I'm very grateful for him because obviously if it wasn't for his effort, probably the series wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be here. Hopefully the people will like this kind of format. It's way different from Formula One. It's more approachable. It's more friendly for the fans. Fans can get near to the cars, to the drivers.
I think the stadium is going to be quite loud. We expect it to be full, so it's going to be different from other races.
To be back in this level of racing in your country, it doesn't get any better than this.
Across the categories, qualifying went down to the wire. But for Ricardo Gonzalez and his number 43 RGR entry, it was a perfect outcome in front of the partisan Mexican crowd as they hung on to take pole in the LMP2 category.
Very nice. A little bit nerve-wracking with the red flag. I was just catching temperature in the tires when it came out, but it was good enough for the pole, and I guess it was the same for everybody else.
In the GT Pro class, the Aston Martins ended qualifying at the head of the pack, while in the top category, LMP1, it was Audi's Lucas de Grassi who finished Friday afternoon in pole position.
I did a very good lap, I extracted the most out of the car, and this pole is not only mine, it's the whole Audi sport. They worked very, very hard back in the factory to make sure this car was in the right specs for all the issues that we have in high altitude, and they did a fantastic job, and we proved that we can be very competitive.
Exploding with atmosphere, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez was finally ready for the 6 hours of Mexico, with race fans packing the stadium in anticipation of what was set to be a close-fought battle across the categories. At the top end of the grid, it was Porsche chasing Audi in the LMP1 class.
Quali was tricky for us. Didn't get the most out of the car, no question about it. Both Porsches probably left a bit out there, but Audi deserved the pole. They did a great job.
It's a good starting position for the race. Third, obviously would have preferred to be first and second, but it's 6 hours, so it's going to be fine.
Unfortunately, only P2, but it's still a good starting point for the race.
The crowd are ready, the drivers are ready. 6 hours are on the clock, and we're racing in Mexico. And the two Audis, 1 and 3, become 1 and 2 very quickly, heading down towards the first corner.
A blistering first few laps would see the Porsches swap places, and so too the Audis, with Lotterer taking the race lead. Not as much luck for the Toyotas though, as they drop back down the field. In GTE Pro, Nicky Team led, while fellow Aston Martin driver Richie Stanaway tussled with Porsche's Michael Christensen. In LMP1, Porsche were battling Audi.
Brendon Hartley in the number 1 Porsche comes out the final corner. That's the leader ahead. He's got the pace and he's got the lead. Hartley, the New Zealander, goes ahead of the Audi.
After a full course yellow and the number 37 hit the wall, Webber took over from Hartley and surged to the front of the field in the number 1 Porsche.
So we're 1/3 of the way, currently leading. Marc's done a great stint. We got ahead, so Marc had pressure the whole way from the Audi.
We are about 10 seconds from Porsche, and there is still half of the race to go. So, fingers crossed.
Rain all around the track, and it will get harder.
At the 3-hour mark, the rain arrived. The number 8 Audi was unlucky with a wheel bearing issue and came off the track at turn 1. And once again, full yellow saw multiple changes in pit lane. In the GT Pro battle, the two Aston Martins were up front on Dunlop tyres, but pushing hard, Nicky Team ended up in the wall, giving Stanaway the lead in the sister car. In the final hour, the action was nail-biting, and the number 1 Porsche, driven by Timo Bernhard, held the lead, with the Toyotas also now closing in on a podium spot.
Still an hour to go, and yeah, I mean, fingers crossed we can get a podium. I think if it stays dry, obviously it's our race to lose. Brendon drove awesome. Timo's done a great job here, and we just got to keep our fingers crossed.
Out of the Priaulx for the last time, the checkered flag and the fireworks go to the defending world champions.
Winners in Mexico, baby. Winners in Mexico. Awesome.
Mega job by everyone today. I was happy with me. I was happy Marc, Timo, everyone delivered. We knew that to win this race we had to execute, and that's what we did.
The world champions win in Mexico. Is this the start of their title defence? GTE Pro, the first win for Aston Martin since Spa last year. LMP2 is the fairy tale ending for RGR Sport and Ricardo Gonzalez.